I think you can go mid-high 16 just to close the gap to cars ahead.
So fuel currently on target. Safety car, slow down.
Possible debris 5, 6, 7, stay online.
GPs. Since moving to Melbourne, the Australian GP has typically been held as the season opener or as part of the early rounds of the season. Albert Park has hosted the Australian GP every year since 1996, except for 2020 and 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. If you're visiting Melbourne for the first time this weekend, don't forget to take in the beach and the excellent bars and restaurants. It's autumn right now in Australia, so the temperatures are perfect for a bit of sightseeing. Lewis Hamilton has had a lot of success at the Australian GP, securing poles here on more occasions than any other driver in the history of the sport. Despite this, he has generally struggled to convert his poles into wins.
Alright, sorry everyone about that. A few little issues here and there. So, back to qualifying, not long left. Capitano has just done his flying lap, up to P12 for him there. Just caught the tail end of that. We have 3 minutes left of this session, and apologies for the issues with the sound there. Not what we would have wanted to start qualifying off today, not at all. So just shy of 3 minutes left. We've got almost pretty much everyone now has set a lap time. Aiton currently with a 29.7, absolutely flying so far. And 7 currently P2 in the Williams. Adam also currently P3, looking very, very strong in that Aston Martin at the minute, who's just gone into the pits. We've got Thief in the Haas. Currently 6th fastest with a 30.9. Unfortunately, I can't let you know how everyone's done today. We've missed the majority of people's laps, unfortunately. Oh, unfortunate there for Thief. Let's have a look at the tyres for everyone so far. We've got a few drivers on inters and everyone else on the wets. Who is this currently? It is Tin Man with the full wets on still, looking currently on outlap. We've got Oscar here in the Alpine on the full wet tyres, as this has been a pretty grim session all round and looking pretty strong so far. Has slowed down quite a bit going into the turn 11 there, but as we go, well, just finish, he's actually backed out that lap now. Fair enough to Oscar there. Oliver is in the pits, his teammate Mr. G and Capitano 13th and 14th currently, but Capitano on a flying lap, currently just shy of 3 seconds off the lead. Could he put in a nice blistering lap here for himself and his Red Bull team? But we are here for round 12 of the CanAm season. We are at Australia. If you haven't quite realised already, going by this lap here and the little track map at the bottom right hand corner there, we have got 5.2 kilometres of this circuit per lap with 14 corners, 9 to the right and 5 to the left, as Capitano just comes around the final right-hander into the final DRS zone as well. Unfortunately, DRS not active in this session as it has been raining the whole way. Five's now coming for his final flying lap and has retired, unfortunately, there. Shifty now is on his final flyer here. That was extremely close to track limits, but does set a nice sector 1 time there. Is almost 2 tenths quicker than his previous lap time. Looking very, very strong so far through the first part of this final flying lap for himself. We will have a few more drivers coming up in a moment. We have had a few drivers. We've got the championship leader here, Anime, on the intermediate tyres. Absolutely flying so far, as Oscar now does go P2 in this qualifying session. Anime now absolutely flying round this final 14th and final corner. Has got a bit of toe but doesn't quite take it. Does go quickest now, absolutely flying up there for Anime Boy. We have now got Logan, who's just gotten across the line in 7th. MJ is currently 9th. McCoy has gone into the pits. Ago now also into the pits, and that will round off the qualifying session here for Australia. So we will see Anime, Aiton and Oscar all in the top 3 for the start of this race, which I'm sure I'm sure all drivers will be hoping that it is a dry race going into these next few laps. So, Anime, Aiton and Oscar, top 3, 7, Tin Man, Adam, Logan, Thief, MJ, McCoy, round off your top 10, with Zuck, Ego, Capitano, Oliver, Fives, Mr. G and Shifty rounding off the rest of the grid here. Very, very good, very good looking grid here for the race. Few drivers a little bit off the pace, but could just be down to their setups and them having a dry setup over a wet setup. But it could change for these next few laps now, as we wait for the drivers here to sort their strategies out, sort the rest of their setups out. We can, unfortunately not this week, but we will go through standings for a moment while we wait for everyone to sort what tyres they start this race on. So currently, as we've already said previously in this session, we do have Anime currently leading the championship by a fair few points at the minute. Looking very, very strong at the top of the standings. He is on 164 points, 59 points ahead of his closest rival currently, who is Ago on 105 points, very closely followed by the Aston Martin Tin Man Rowdy on 100 points, who currently round off your top 3 in the standings, with Oliver 7, Fives, Capitano, Adam, Logan and the Alpine of Icewater finishing off your top 10 in the standings currently. Will we see much of a change in that top 10 this week, with almost the majority of the grid moving around after last week's races, with everyone from 4th down to 16th in the standings moving, and just unfortunately the bottom 3 drivers of Thief, Shifty and Will unfortunately are the bottom 3 drivers, but there is Shifty and Will that need to pick up some points over the next few races and try and make a climb up the standings a little bit. But as we head to the constructors, we are seeing Ferrari taking a storming lead at the minute. Currently 225 points, no, 224 points, sorry, in overall. We're followed by Aston Martin, who are 35 points behind on 189, and Mercedes in 3rd, who are 38 points behind on 151. Looking very, very close in to the final, including this one, final 5 race of the season now, as we come to the tail end of it. Looking very, very close for 2nd and 3rd between Aston Martin and Mercedes. We also have Alpine, who are extremely close, who could potentially nick a top 3 constructors spot. They are only 5 points behind the Mercedes team and looking very, very strong as the weeks go on. Haas also mounting a possible top 4 spot. They have dropped off a little bit over the past couple of weeks, currently 21 points behind the Alpine team. But again, with including this one, 5 races to go, anything is possible. And then the bottom 5 teams currently are Sauber, Red Bull, McLaren, Racing Bulls, and the Williams team, with Sauber and Red Bull both in the 111 and 107 points respectively. They're both fighting out for P6. Extremely close between them two teams, the closest two in the standings at the minute. But looking to be a very good end to the season for these guys, as looking to be a very strong end for the Sauber and the Red Bull, fighting out right till the end of the last race, no doubt, by going how close they are. They could potentially both even take the top 5 spot, but a lot of work will need to be done with the Red Bull team if they do want that P5 in the Constructors. So we'll take a moment's break here while the drivers saw everything out for the last couple of seconds, but we will get going no doubt in a moment. So formation lap is underway here in Melbourne for what will be a fantastic, I believe it is 29 or 32 laps, one of the two, I can't remember off the top of my head, but no doubt it will be exciting from start to finish. So we've got all the drivers now leading us, well, Anime leading us our way through this formation lap. Everyone just trying to get as much temperature into them tyres as they possibly can, and no doubt also the majority of them very, very thankful that it is a dry race here, and hopefully no rain will hit us unexpectedly. So strategies for this race no doubt will be a possible one stop, probably a no doubt most actually on see what everyone is starting on quickly while they all line up. It is only Anime on the hards, everyone else is on the medium tyres for this race, and we just wait now for everyone to line up for the grid. So Anime will set us off in a minute as we have 5 lights, and off we go. Anime gets away, can't really see from this angle, why is it at the back there? Anime did get a little bit of a poor start. Aiton does go into the lead, Oscar quickly follows him into P2, Anime down to 3rd position already. Them hard tyres are going to take a couple of laps to warm up now. He is now down to 4th in this race after only 3 or 4 corners. Oh, that was very, very close at the start there. They done very, very well to keep out of each other there. Anime getting very, very close to the back of the Williams of 7 now. Absolutely flying off is Oscar. He's got some serious pace, serious race pace here. Looking brilliant, already 1 second ahead of the Haas of Aiton. so far, absolutely brilliant start for the Alpine driver, and looking very, very good for everyone else. So far, no major collisions. We have got Shifty just dropping off at the back there by the looks of it. Unfortunate for him, but still 29 laps to go for him to catch that gap and make some moves in this race. Tin Man currently in 5th place, a good opening lap there for him. 8 now does swap positions with 7 as 7 goes into 2nd place. Oscar now 2.5 seconds ahead already into this, already only a lap into this race. He is absolutely flying away. 2.6, he's just in a different little race at the minute, but could he carry on extending that race? But 7 and 8 looking very, very strong and battling each other hard here. CanAm in P4 looking very, very strong, has got hard tyres on, will no doubt take another lap to warm up and make any sort of damage on the 2 cars ahead to try and get a move done on them. Is currently 4 tenths behind, but 8 and 7 are fighting hard through into 7, 8 in 7 and 8 here. Is it 7 and 8? 10 and 11, sorry, as we come up to past turn 11 now into 12 and 13 and 14 here. Looking very, very good with these few drivers at the front. Let's head further down the grid. Let's go to Ego here in the Mercedes. Currently 3 tenths behind Tin Man in the Sauber, and closing very, very quickly. DRS is active as well, has been since the previous lap, and looking very strong here. We have got CanAm now is up to 2nd. He's made some quick moves on this 3rd lap. Tyres must be warming up nicely now for him. He's going to make some serious dents into that time ahead, into the serious dent into that lap time. He has taken it from 2.6 now to 2.3 in a sort of short time for himself, but he will have 7 fighting him hard with the DRS open. With CanAm not quite in the DRS, 7 does look to make the move, but doesn't quite make anything of it this time. Did go for a little cheeky look on the inside, but doesn't do anything. Does he try it again into turn 11? He does, and they keep it out of each other's side pods there. Nice close racing from the Ferrari and the Williams drivers there. 7 will no doubt be back straight on the tail of CanAm in a moment. Does have a little lock up into turn 13 there, into 14 now. Straight onto the main leg of this race. Down past the pit straight, or the start-finish line, as 7 does move up into 2nd. Tin Man tries to go for the move as well, does back out at the very last minute, and some close competitive racing here from 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. So we have got Aga now very close up into the gearbox of Tin Man. We have also got McCoy, who's a few tenths behind them all. Very, very quick right now, and closing that gap even. He has closed that gap a little bit, but not too much. Making small dents into that 7 tenths. Will he do enough to stay behind them as we go into this? Well, after this DRS zone, he will have DRS here as well, as it is a double. It is one detection point for both of them DRS zones there, and it's the same as we come round to the final corner as well. One detection zone for the 2 DRS zones. So as we come on to the main straight now, we have got Okoye, who's just at the fastest lap of a 1:20.2. We have got Thief now just dipping into the pits. Shifty has also dropped into the pits the previous lap and stuck the hards on. probably a somewhat of a good move there, as they do have some competitiveness when they've warmed up and got a little bit of that slickness dropped down and some more. Well, once they've been worn in a little bit, they do run very, very nicely around here. So we have got McCoy, a Tin Man, all fighting nicely there. As we head down, further down the grid, we have seen Aiton drop down to 8th now. Not what he would have wanted in these opening 6 laps, but could potentially find some more pace as we go on to, as we head further into the race. We have got a 5-way battle here with the Red Bull of Capitano looking at the back there. They are very, very close here. Everyone from Oliver all the way down to Capitano, very, very close. We've got 1, 2, 3, 6 cars maybe here, all fighting it out for these points positions, as a few drivers all very close from all of them, but they all do very well to keep it out of each other and get it round them corners nice and safe. So Capitano just on the back of this DRS train here, looking very strong, is trying to make a move round MJ. Doesn't quite make it stick through that couple of corners there, but as we come up to the detection point, they are all really close here now with the DRS zone coming up. Who will be the first to make the moves as we go on board Aiton now? He hasn't quite got DRS, but is trying to defend hard here from Oliver. As they both go in, that was extremely close from both of them there. Aiton does brilliantly to defend that and gets around that corner nicely. As we go on board, Oliver now has got the DRS, not quite enough speed to make the move on him, with Adam, Logan, MJ all very close behind, and Capitano too just tagging along at the back there, a little bit further off them, but still doing extremely well to stay within DRS range of all of these drivers. As we see Oliver trying to make the move down into turn 1. Will he make it stick? He does go on the inside, he does make it stick. Aiton goes off track, and they do keep out of each other's way. Aiton has a bit of a problem, and there's a massive collision at the back there. MJ and Capitano both unfortunately crash there, with Adam is not too sure what's going on there, but Adam has ended up the wrong way, has now dropped quite far back, and is what's going on here. We have a red flag. Everyone now does have the free choice of tyres. Everyone will have a free choice of tyre now, pretty much. No doubt people, if they started on the mediums, no doubt possibly change the hards. If they started on the hards, possibly a little bit screwed over by this red flag, but they could well make the mediums last, or they could go on to a 2-stop. Just going to take a moment's break here. We have 15 seconds till we go, so it won't be long. So we have our 5 lights, and away we go again for the second time today here in Australia. Anime gets us away. He is now on the medium tyres, everyone else is on the hards. A few drivers haven't actually swapped over. They have stayed on. We have seen Shifty Zark and Thief all stay on the hard tyres here. Admittedly, they weren't too old when they went into the pits originally, but Animate does get us away nicely here. He is on the medium tyres, he is on the quicker tyre compared to everyone else. Has got a huge advantage by starting on the hard tyres originally. Now he can pull away. He is currently a second ahead already as we come to the end of sector 2. He's putting a nice little gap there. For Oscar, pretty close behind still, but has got Ego and 7 right on his tail and fighting extremely hard for these final 2 podium spots as we come almost to the halfway mark of this race. A fair bit to go, but battles will be tough throughout. So we've seen a few drivers unfortunately lose out in this race of Capitano and Andre, but a fair few drivers have also gained in this race because of that red flag. We have seen a fair few positions gained from that, so let's have a little look to see who has gained the most and see who has lost out by that red flag. So Fives is actually up 10 places, Ego is also up 10 places, we've got Mr. G is up 7 places. Let's go on board the Red Bull here. He is currently a second behind. Thief has also unfortunately got a penalty, but has also got a fair bit more speed as we see here. Currently 6 tenths behind. Thief hasn't. He has got DRS as well, which is wide open and closing pretty quickly. We'll have another DRS zone. We have got Zuck as well making some moves here on Oliver. Will he try and make the move on Mr. G as we head into the turn 11? Not quite this time, a little bit too far back. As we head into turn 12 and 13 now. Looking very good here for the McLaren driver in that 10th place. Yes, I believe I did catch the unfortunate timing of all of that. But as we head into turns 3 and 4 now, Zuck is very close now to Mr. G, looking to try and build some momentum on that previous lap that he was building. And slowly gaining, is currently a 10th behind now. Will he make the move into as we come up to turns 8, 9 here? He does get the move done as we come round. He will have the DRS into the second part of this as well. Aiden does get a 3-second penalty, unfortunately there for track limits. Zuck with DRS wide open. Did Oliver also trying to make the moves, unfortunately not making it pay off. Mr. G does keep hold of 10th place currently. Oliver now also trying to make the moves, has a fair few time penalties coming in now. Mr. G coming into turn 1, not quite close enough to Zuck. Zuck is very close to FIFO and looking extremely strong for this race. Having a very good race is the Hash driver. Zuck closing and not quite being close enough to make a move into turn 3 there. As we come up to 5, 6 in a moment, and the detection zone comes quickly as we enter turns 6 and 7. Into 8 now, and looking very good between these 4 drivers. Oliver trying to make the move on Mr. G, does get it done before the DRS zone as well, and will start to put away slightly. Zuck does make the move on Thief as well. Great move around the outside, and Oliver makes the move as well on Thief. Brilliant driving from both of them, and Zuck now has a half a second lead and pulling away quickly. Has got the free air so has no worries about being held up by anyone here. Oliver now P10, Mr. G is Oliver now P9, Mr. G P10. Thief unfortunately has dropped to 11th and slowly dropped off the back a little bit, but plenty of time for him to build that momentum back and get back into the top 10. So Tin Man in the Sauber here has jumped into the pits, possibly to get rid of them hard tyres. Shifty now will move up in to 12th. Little bit of a slow race for him today, but plenty of time for him to get back. Can he try and make a push on the car ahead? Potentially with these 17 laps to go, it can be done. Adam Al, unfortunately in 15th, has dropped off a fair bit. Not what he would have wanted from previously, but looking very, very shaky here as he comes around in final few corners. Anime is 1.7 seconds ahead as we go back on board. The race leader and the current championship leader looking extremely strong since that red flag restart. So Adam, unfortunately, with 3-second penalty as he exited turn 2, not what he would have wanted, but possibly got a lot of potential in himself and that car to try and make some extra little moves. It's only 20 seconds behind Tin Man, so it can be done, no doubt, for him. But as we sit on board here with Anime, he is looking very strong. Going down the grid now, we have got a nice little DRS train with Ego 7, Oscar 5, McCoy, and at the back there in the Ferrari is Logan. Just attached himself to that DRS train, trying to make some moves, trying to keep that P7 and maybe head up the field a little bit more. So as we are on board here, let's see what his view is from this race at the minute. It has got a little bit of speed, but not quite enough to make a major gain on the cars ahead. Will he try and do something going into turns 12 and 13 in a moment? Sorry, 11 and 12. As he comes up, not quite there. Will no doubt have DRS as we go into the main straight in a moment. Sitting on board McCoy, 4 tenths behind, has got a fair bit of speed in that racing board at the minute. Will also have the DRS on 5s. Could he try and push and make a move? Not quite this time. We have got a safety car, not too sure what that was for though. Fortunately, we have missed it. Adam is in the pits with a tyre change. So we've got Tin Man, Aiton, Shifty. We've got Mr. G and Thief in the pits. Shifty's jumped into the pits as well. Really not too sure why there is a safety car here. Potentially for a missing front wing on Adam, but not 100% sure on that one. We will, there was a few good battles heading towards the front of the field that we were looking at. Unfortunately, race will be slowed down again, but luckily not for a red flag this time, so drivers can try and keep the tyres warm and make some moves. Once this safety car has gone in probably 2 to 3 laps time, could potentially be more depending on how quickly others catch up, but we shall see. So Anime jumps into the pits. He is on the medium tyres, no doubt could potentially go back to the hards. Will he? No, he does. He's had another set of mediums he's stuck on. So, few as Anime boxes, we have seen Ego take the lead under the safety car. Oscar and Zuck finish off the top 3 at the moment, but we are around halfway through this race now, with a lot to play for at the moment. So we did see Adam unfortunately retire there. Unfortunate for him, not the race he would have wanted today. But definitely not the race he would have wanted, considering he is currently up there in the standings, or currently P8 in the standings, and trying to build his way back up. Still, he will have 4 races to try and do that. No doubt. This is just a little blip for him. So as we just wait for Mr. G, Shifty, Aiton all to catch up, we will probably have maybe 1 more lap, or potentially 1 more lap, maybe 2 more laps of safety car conditions, and hopefully by lap 19 I reckon we will be underway again for the final 10 or 11 laps of this race. So far has been a pretty decent race here and there, some very good battles up and down the grid. Unfortunate for a few drivers here and there, but sometimes it happens, or not always for the best. Well, never for the best when drivers are either crashed into or unfortunately have issues of their own with possible setups not always going to plan in the race, but perfect elsewhere. So unfortunate for them this week. Very, very well. They will still have 4 races to gain back what they've lost out this week. But as for the remaining 14 drivers, we do have some debris flying around there. Someone's front wing, someone's end plate is just on the track going everywhere now. But safety car is in and we are actually about to head off in a moment. Ego with not too sure what happened there with 7, trying to get a little jump on everyone else. Logan into the pits there. Unfortunate for him, that may have been his front wing end plate flying off. Ego now with a 1.8 second lead. He has got off to a great start from this safety car. 2 seconds ahead already, he's absolutely fine. Anime now already up to 3rd place from that 4th, where he dropped to under the original pit stop he'd done when the safety car came out. Everyone is very bunched up right now. It's just Anime and Zuck who have driven off into their own little race now. Ego is 1.9 seconds ahead. Oscar now is currently 4th and 1.1 seconds ahead, with 7's very close behind, but will need to serve a drive-through penalty either this lap, next lap, or the lap after that. So hopefully he can try, or hopefully for his sake, he can try and make a mountain challenge when he serves that drive-through. So McCoy, currently P6, looking very, very good here. Has got a lot of pace in that racing ball, as we know from throughout the rest of this race, as 7 goes in now to serve his drive-through. will probably drop down to around 13th place. Ooh, yeah, he will in fact actually drop down to 13th place and will be very close to Logan on the pit exit. Probably around 5 seconds between them two on their return. So McCoy does try and make it around the outside. He does make it around the outside there of Oscar. Great move into P4 for them. So as we head down to Tin Man and Thief, a very close battle now between these two. Thief would have been loving that last safety car to try and get him back into contention for the big points here. He needs a good result and this could well be it for him, as Tin Man has his DRS wide open. Thief is on the inside. He does try and make the move. He does make it into the corner. He well and truly into the corner. Does go wide on the exit. Not what he would have wanted. Let Tin Man straight back through. Has jumped in behind him. Does have DRS still as well. Not quite enough speed to try and make the move on the entry of the corner there. Tries to stick with him. Was that a little bit of contact between them? Maybe, possibly not quite enough though, as they are fighting hard now for this P6 spot. A very good battle between these two. Anime Anime now up to second and only less than a second now as well behind. Up to second and less than a second behind Anime. Tin Man has retired from this race. We do have a virtual safety car. Not 100% not what he would have wanted. He was having a very good race and is in the middle of the track there, and a bit of debris all over the show here. That will be very helpful for both Seven and may be helpful for Logan if he can try and close some of this gap now. He is around 14 seconds behind. Could he try and make a little bit of time up under this VCS? Or will the game tell him to slow down? But as we head towards the front under this VCS at the minute, Anime is currently just over a second. Will he try and pounce wet as soon as the VCS goes in? Or will he try and hold off, save these tyres for 9 laps? And could we potentially see someone make a late move for soft tyres in this race? Do have 9 laps to go and plenty of opportunities for this, and the VCS has gone in. Oscar unfortunately has a drive-through penalty, not what he would have wanted, as he is up into 5th place at the minute. That is going to be extremely costly for him, as Anime is a second and a half off Ago and closing that gap pretty quickly down this straight. Looking very good there for himself and the Ferrari team as we head down to 3rd and 4th place of McCoy and Zuck. Looking very good here again, these two drivers. Zuck having a very good race at the minute round Australia as we head into turn 7 now. As we come out of turn 7 to 8, they are very close, and DRS will be available for Zuck. Can he try and make the move into turns 8 and 9 here? It is very possible that Zuck gets it done, but not quite enough speed on that part of the DRS there. Not quite enough speed with the DRS open. Will he try and make it here? No overtake use this time, but does keep within just under half a second of Zuck of McCoy, and looking for that P3. Has got the speed here as well. So, lap 22 of 29 now. Zuck has dropped off a little bit. Thief just trying to go for the move, but just outbrakes himself. Oliver now does collect the 5th position. Fives now picks up P6. And looking to try and close that 2-second gap that he's got to Oliver. Is in the Mercedes here, does have some nice pace at the minute. It has unfortunately dropped off, but is trying to get away from the Haas behind him and looking very good at the minute. Can he try and contain that speed and keep up with, well, keeping these guys behind him? As we head on board, Thief goes slightly wide again into that corner, not what he would have wanted, has lost a bit of time. Can he try and get into that within that second gap? Not quite, as he hits the detection zone, but is 9/10 behind as we head down to the main straight. Hasn't got DRS this time, will use his overtake. Mr. G now just behind him. Will he have the speed to make a move on Thief? Not quite this time, as they are both now within a second of fives and that 6th position. So Aiton does go off track a little bit there. Definitely not what he would have wanted on his, I believe it is his debut race today for Haas, and I believe his debut for CanAm. Not always the race he would have wanted. Had a brilliant qualifying, but the race he's just dropped off slightly and down to 9th at the minute. Has got 7 with not too sure what is going on there. He's definitely not 62 milliseconds behind, and he's a bit further behind there. Mr. G just picking up another penalty there. Has got Shifty a second behind, 7 at the minute, up in P11. Will Shifty try and gain a little bit of speed? Has got a fair bit of battery at the minute as well, and can potentially make a bit of time on 7's car here. But 7 just pulling away a little bit more from Aiton, and with Aiton just dropping off now. Definitely not what he would have wanted in this race. 7, here we go, is 3.5 seconds behind P9 now, with Aiton just under 3 seconds behind Mr. G. He had a little mistake in the previous tap, and now trying to gain back what he did unfortunately lose in that race. So as we look back at the minute, we have got Logan and Oscar currently in 12th and 13th. Oscar did serve his drive through pretty quickly and is now back in this race properly. Is currently 6.5 seconds behind the Ferrari driver and looking very strong. Anime currently P1 with a 3/10 lead over Ago, who's battling him hard and quite fairly at the minute. To try and take the lead back of this race. So McCoy is currently P3 as well, 3.2 seconds ahead behind the 2 cars out in front. Has picked up a lot of speed actually through that final part of the lap. It's now 2.5 seconds behind and gained and added some time to Oliver, who's flicking between 9/10 and 1.1 seconds and looking to try and make a little bit of damage on McCoy. He's try and make some damage to that time on McCoy. Try and get him through this race and possibly make a little bit of a move for P3 here. Has unfortunately also got a penalty to deal with as well. Could potentially harm him quite a bit at the end of this race, but it is only 3 seconds. Potentially has the pace at the end of this race as well to get past the race symbol and pull away a little bit. Little wobble there, not what he would have wanted. Oliver now 9/10 behind. Will has still got the DRS, so luckily through the previous detection point. As we head now into turn 12 and 13, will he have the... He is just within a second and looking very, very good in this race at the minute. Will have DRS wide open. Has got that penalty to contend with. Will it be enough to try and keep him ahead of Zucklo, who's 3.5 seconds behind and has got some speed in this race? Does have the pace to try and knock someone at 3 seconds off and get that little bit closer to Oliver. But with Fives and Thief close behind him, he's going to need to put everything into these final 4 laps and make a big gap so he can't get caught from the Mercedes and the Haas driver behind him. Oscar now with a 3-second penalty as well. Unfortunate for him. A fair few drivers here and there picking up penalties now as well. Mr. G on 12 seconds. That's going to be very, very costly for him at the end of this race, potentially knocking him down and out of the points, and maybe into P12 or potentially P11 actually. We may get P10, but it's going to be a very tough ask there for Mr. G. Let's go down to this battle as we do have a nice bit of a DRS train here. Mr. G just misses out on the DRS, so he just went over that 1 second mark with the little wobble at the exit of turn 12 there, as we see 7 make a bit of an easy move. Mr. G just trying to get into the slipstream as quick as he possibly can now, trying to do whatever he can to build some of this momentum back and fight for the top few spots now. Has got Shifty 8.5 seconds behind him. He's starting to lose some grip now on these tyres. Let's see what he's on. They look to be the red ringed soft tyres, but let's double check for a moment. So yeah, he is on the soft tyres. They are very, very old as well. No wonder he's starting to lose some time and some grip now as we head up the field a little bit. McCoy and Oliver all both still battling it out nicely here. We've got Ago and Anime still trying to fight it out for this lead, but it looks to be Anime with this slight advantage at the minute. Has broken the DRS off. It looked as if he's broken the DRS off Anime there. Anime has broken the DRS of Ago. He's 1.6 seconds behind. McCoy's 2 seconds behind. Oliver nearly 2 seconds as well behind McCoy. Very, very close, fairly close top 4 there. Not as close as we previously had, but still a very close top 4 at the minute. Few drivers now, Aiton and Haas trying to fight it out here. 7 just gets in between the 2 Haas drivers now as well. Looking very good for the Williams in this race. Looking good for both Haas drivers as 7 does make the move past. Aiton also gets the move past on his teammate. Will they disappear into the distance on this DRS bit or not quite? 7 and Aiton just battling out now. Almost a little bit of contact there. Oh, I'm not too sure what was going on there, but I do believe Aiton should have possibly backed out of that move slightly. Definitely not what he would have wanted, and also with how close they were through part of that, it was it was bound to happen at some point in this race for Aiton to be to have some contact somewhere along the lines. Has looked very strong in this race, and unfortunately just a few iffy moves here and there, not what he would have wanted. Other than that, has got speed in this race, has got the pace in that car. Just a few silly moves here and there have cost him dearly in this race as well. But 7 and Thief still within a second of each other at the minute, or just under. Will they still be within a second of each other as we hit the DRS? As we hit the detection zone, they are 7 tenths behind. Thief is doing everything he can in this Haas car, doing what he can to pick up the extra couple of points as well. Is closing quickly as well. Will he try and make the move? Not quite. He does stay behind it. Oh, he may have outbroke himself slightly down, locked up. Does keep control of it to stay out of the wall. Looking very good between these 2 drivers of 7 and Thief. have raced with each other for a fair while as well, so know each other's driving styles pretty well and know how to handle each other. Looking very, very good now. Probably in fact, this is the only battle on track at the minute. These are the two closest cars as they both crossed the line. We have actually finished this race. That was pretty quick final few laps. Did not expect that whatsoever. So Ayton does cross the line in 10th. 11th is Shifty. And Shifty drops up. No, Shifty jumps to 9th. Mr. G goes to 10th. Oscar goes to 11th. Ayton goes to 12th. And unfortunately, Logan did make a very late stop. Has he gone for the fastest lap here in this race? He did go on to the soft tyres a lap ago. Can he get the fastest lap here on the final lap? And we'll find out in a moment. So, sorry we didn't get to see the leaders cross the line. We were watching a pretty close battle with Thief and 7. Didn't quite expect the final 3 laps to end that quickly, I'll be in all honesty. But we have got Anime, our winner in the Australian Grand Prix, followed by Ago, followed by McCoy to round off the top 3 and the podium spots. Brilliant race for most people all round, and an okay debut there as well for Ayton as well. Not the race he would have wanted. Had a pretty good qualifying though, but it is our championship leader of Anime who takes home the win once again in this season. I believe that is his 5th win. That will be his 5th win of the season and his 6th podium. Very, very strong so far, and brilliant race all round for him. Has some brilliant battles there, here and there. So that is our race done in Australia. So thank you everyone for watching. Hope you join us next time in our... Well, actually, where do we race next week? We will be in... We have the nice, tight street circuit of Saudi Arabia next. Thank you everyone. This is Baco, and until next time, bye bye.